Connected everything. City water went through here. They had pipe
No, we're not.
Yeah, I've seen the metal water covers on the asphalt road here.
Oh,
but
yeah.
they must be discontinued at this point.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite cases.
It took 60 years off my life.
No, I mean, really did. I mean, the three of you looked fantastic. How much fun we had, you know? That was great. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah, okay. Let me ask you that, because I was very concerned about you. It's hard to find. Okay, because first year, so I showed some without this.
Right, exactly. That's where we are.
We have drafted something. Recommend is one thing. You have to. It's a month-long process to create the zoning district, and then have public hearings, cemeteries here. Yeah.
We're standing right here. The timing is great. It's a good thing. All that. I will do my best. If you ask me questions, I'll do my best to answer them. I know what was up there.
What did you say we're doing? We're taking a tour of
We're just going to walk through Uniontown.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name's Steve.
You don't mind being on video?
I guess I could get used to it. I don't know as much as a lot of the residents, so I am on the board and building bridges for the greater good, and that's the group that's been trying to kind of just generate some publicity. So this area was annexed by the city in 1964. It went from a kind of vibrant black community to getting rezoned light industrial. And so that hasn't allowed the residents. So just generally what happened is this was kind of a vibrant black community. A lot of the houses we're going to be looking at were owned by members of the black community. It was annexed by the city in 1964. It got rezoned from a residential community to for light industrial housing. And that has not allowed the residents to to maintain their property. So we're really close to places where there's obviously water and septic running through the community, but none of the residences here basically are on the city septic line. They still have cisterns and wells and
There is water in here, but there's no sewer.
There is no sewer. There is water, I know, that's going to those houses right there. I think one of the main water lines actually used to go across from the bridge here. So when they took out the bridge, a lot of people lost their water. But next month, more than likely, the council is going to rezone this area back to residential, which will allow the community to make improvements to their houses, will allow people to rebuild the community, and we want to basically see the city commit some money for infrastructure, the roads, septic, street lights, water. I mean, there needs to be a lot of work done to bring the community back. So I'll stop there. So we'll just walk down to where the old bridge was. If you look up the hill, you'll be able to see, I believe it is what used to be the black school when this area was part of the county. So,
Excuse me, it's 1948 was when it was annexed.
it was you're right, it was annexed in 48 and then it was rezoned in the 60s.
Yes.
Right. So,
You know what that big building is? Is that
I have no idea what that big building is.
Do you think it's still considered part of Uniontown?
It probably is.
Yeah, both sides of the street.
Yeah.
Who did the rendering of those possible looks?
Oh, okay. Hi. make any progress.
So they can get the sewer lines in and the lights in and
Allow people to fix up their homes.
If you guys want to keep going. I was gonna go try and top up the property and maybe
Had to be the road where we, on the corner back there.
we didn't get across this.
No. Well, access road.
Some of it was stone. I don't really know what it was built out of because it was gone before I got there. Well, that's for the railroad. Oh my goodness. The railroad tracks. The train still runs down here.
They look like they're being used.
Okay, so the schoolhouse I think is the second,
not that one, but it's that. I think the schoolhouse is that building on the left right there.
And what street is this over here?
Anthony, and if you go
Off the Frontier?
if you go all the way around to Frontier Drive and make a left, you'll hit the mini storage. And then Uniontown, there used to be residential houses on the other side of the railroad tracks going all the way back to the lumberyard.
Oh, okay.
So, and we'll go up Jones and then walk down the street there, and you'll see you can see some of the older houses.
Now, what I knew that house as was not Bernice's house.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope I'm
I
right.
don't know if it was the schoolhouse prior to that, but I don't know. I'll have to ask my sister.
Yeah, no, and I could be. There is a picture of the
Because
schoolhouse.
I'm the youngest, so I don't.
And someone did tell me it got taken over as a residential community. So, if you could take a look at the picture of the schoolhouse and see if it matches up with your memory, that would be fantastic. So.
And then if you tell somebody so you can get it into
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. They know how to take your money.
She said to get back from Budapest to Richmond Avenue.
You could do that because, well, you could do Budapest, Paris, like that.
Well, of course you do.
And then Paris, Delos. Oh, yes. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is the main line to the west.
I think it is.
House was one street up on Hatton Street, and this is Joseph Gaines. And they were friends with my dad.
So I know a little bit about the Gaines family, but make sure if I get anything wrong, to tell me that. So the little bit I know about Uniontown is because of a study that was written by Julius Gaines, who I believe worked for the National Archives. But the Gaines family I would call kind of prominent in the area. If you look at one of the placards back at the tent, you'll see that there was a really prosperous truck farmer who was a Gaines, and he used to raise produce and put it on a truck and drive it into Staunton. And I believe that Julius and this is
That's Joseph.
Joseph, I believe they're part of that group. But Julius Gaines wrote a study about 20 years ago. He came back, he interviewed his mom, interviewed some of his mom's friends. They were octogenarians at the time, 80, 90 years old, and he asked them about what it was like to live in Uniontown up through the 1920s, and they had just long enough memories that they could talk about that. There were apparently a couple stores, one owned by the Crawfords, St. Crawford, and we've been trying to figure out where those stores were at. We think they might be on both sides of the track, farther down. But this, yeah, I mean, this, I think the Gaines family, well, Julius certainly, waded out into the wider world, had a deep connection to this place, always wanted to come back. It felt strongly in terms of, his family stayed here, but I mean, certainly when he left, did very well for himself. I mean, that was, and you get the sense, at least I've gotten the sense from this community, that it really did take care of people, and that the people that grew up here felt a strong connection to the place, but when they went out into the wider world, they were well prepared to do well. And so Julius, I think, loved this place. Julius passed away, I think 2 or 3 years ago. We were hopeful when all this began that we'd be able to talk with him, and we found out that he'd passed. But you can find that study in the library, and I'd recommend reading it if you've got a chance. You get a vivid picture of what the community was like after the Civil War up to 1920. Anything you want to add? No. Did you know any of the Gaineses at all? Or?
Yes. And Mr. Joseph Gaines and my dad and Julius, the father of who you're talking about, were all friends. And my dad worked for them for a while. And then Mr. Joseph Gaines' granddaughter was a friend of mine.
Okay.
She is in real estate.
Or still in the community.
Washington. I don't know where she lives now, but I get a lot of her Facebook ads because she's in real estate.
Yeah, they seem to be a family that, well, when you mention the Gaines and the Crawfords, it seems like those are the kind of the families that a lot of folks know. So I guess we can walk up through. What I'm going to do is we'll go down. There's a field. And I guess we could walk up through the field, which is, I consider that part of Uniontown. We'll end up at the Pizza Hut, and then walk back. Or do you think we should just go to the field and turn around and go this way? It's a little shadier here, isn't it?
Irregular. The field is a little bit irregular. And there's quite a hill to go up to get there. Is there a way to connect to the next street over?
We're way past, we're pretty far past the next street over. I guess we can,
We can go all the way to
do you want to walk all the way to the
lumber yard.
You want to walk to the lumber yard?
It's not that far.
Okay.
It's that much farther. The ground is a little more short.
Really? Do you want to say anything? Well, me too.
So where are we? I don't know where we are. What is
Well, the quarry has been here for a while.
Does it have a name? Yeah. Okay.
Well, Statler, so the intersection there is where the lumber yard is at. I'm thinking Valley Block.
Valley, yeah, Valley Building. Is that
Valley Building Supply. And then there's a place across. The quarries were here, I believe. I mean, looking through the Julius Gaines study, there was a boat and wagon works that a lot of the community used to work at, and then you got the impression that the black community also worked at the quarries. So some of this was here, but yeah, this is still Uniontown. We're gonna walk up around. We're gonna come out at the O'Reilly Auto Parts, which is a brand. I will just say this is me personally. This is nothing to do with building bridges, but when I first walked in here, I was astounded by the residential house that's literally right up against the O'Reilly Auto Parts place. I mean, I could not believe that the O'Reilly Auto Parts place was allowed to get built by this residential house. And I assume it looks like folks are still there. I think it's probably being rented. People are living there, but it just seemed like, and I know we've got someone from the Planning Commission here, it just seemed like it should not be allowed to happen. And that's me. That's my personal opinion. That's not Building Bridges' personal opinion. That's not. But that's the thing that stood out to me the first time I came here and walked around was, holy smokes! There's this vast commercial infrastructure going along Richmond Road that's being allowed to basically build right up against what was a
zone commercial right along Richmond Road.
Yeah. And so I mean, I guess speaking for Building Bridges, we'd just like to see some planning take place and like revitalize the residential areas, maybe have mixed use orient. I think in the small plan they do say that you should reorient the commercial development towards the community instead of having it all facing this way. You could integrate it into the and scale it appropriately. So but
Was that a house part of the community here?
I would expect it was. I don't know. I don't know how old that house is. I don't know how far back it goes. But I mean, when I think of Uniontown, I think of this as part of the community. Both sides of the tracks.
Right?
Yeah. The boat and wagon works, I assume, was over there somewhere. But I'm not sure about that. I don't know where the truck farm was at. I really wish I knew where the truck farm was at. And there were two stores here that were apparently really prosperous, but we're not quite sure where they were at either. So once we get up to Richmond Road, I don't know. I think it probably is more pleasant to walk back this way.
Let's do the pleasant.
Yeah, but if maybe we can walk up to the O'Reilly Auto Parts and then come back.
today.
So yeah. Mm-hmm. So do you know this house?
I don't know.
I just found it astounding when I was. I didn't ask him about.